The Prince of Believers, Omar ibn al-Khattab, sent me to give you your bestowal, because it is rightfully yours.
I swear, I'm not going to take it. And after the Prophet of Allah, I will not ask for anything.
When Hakim ibn Hizam became a Muslim, he delivered 100 female camels loaded with beautiful clothes. And then he sacrificed them all in active devotion to Allah.
Yes, and in another Hajj, he stood in Arafat with 100 of his slaves, making each of them wear a silver neckband that had the inscription, "A refuge for God glorified and sublime be He," from Hakim ibn Hizam.
And during the third Hajj, he delivered 1,000 sheep, and infused all their blood in Mina, and fed their meat to poor Muslims devoting to Allah, glorified and sublime be He.
After the Battle of Hunayn, Hakim ibn Hizam asked the Prophet for plunder, so he gave him. Then he asked him if he could give him until he had 100 camels, knowing at that time he was recently converted to Islam.
The Prophet of Allah, all prayers and blessings of Allah be upon him, says, O Hakim, this money is truthfully blessed and fruitful. Whoever takes it with generosity and an open heart, may God bless him with it. But whoever takes it with selfishness and true greed, may God not bless him with it. And he is like whoever eats without feeling content. Thus a generous hand is better than a close-fisted one.
O Messenger of God, I swear to Allah on my life, I ask no one for a thing besides you, nor do I take a thing from anyone, until the day I pass away.
Hakim ibn Hizam was loyal and honored his word. Abu Bakr invited him many times during his reign to give him his bestowal from Bayt al-Mal of the Muslims, and he refused to take it every time.
Yes. And that happened again with Omar when he invited him to take his bestowal, and he refused to take anything from his possessions.
O Hakim ibn Hizam, Omar ibn al-Khattab delivered a speech to the people, telling them sternly that you have refused to take the bestowal from Bayt al-Mal. And he said, Muslims, I incite and urge you to invite Hakim, to give him his bestowal, but he is refusing.
Hakim was born in a well-born, honored, and affluent family. He was a very intelligent man, and he was a generous man too. Thus his people chose him to be their master and made him their guardian. He helped who is in need or who was suspended in Hajj in the period of Jahiliyyah from his own wealth and fortune.
Yes, Hakim was also a good friend to the Messenger of God before he was sent the religion. Then came the kinship between them, so they became more related when the Prophet, all prayers and blessings of Allah be upon him, married his aunt Khadija bint Khuwaylid. May God bless her.
And how amazing that Hakim became a Muslim the day of the conquest of Mecca.
The Prophet, all prayers and blessings of Allah be upon him and his family and companions, said to his companions, there are 4 people in Mecca that I consider them to be exalted of polytheism, and I want Islam for them. Itab ibn Usaid, Jubair ibn Mut'im, Hakim ibn Hizam, and Suhail ibn Amr.
And of God's favors to them is that they all became Muslims.
After Hakim ibn Hizam became a Muslim, Dar al-Nadwa came to him. All leaders of Quraysh gathered in it to conspire against the Prophet of Allah, all prayers and blessings of Allah be upon him. For that, Hakim wanted to get rid of it and forget the bad past, so he sold it away.
You have sold the nobility of Quraysh, uncle.
Far from it, son. All the nobilities have gone. Nothing is left but devoutness. I sold it just so I can buy a house in heaven with its price. I cite to you that I devoted its price to God glorified.
Father, why are you crying?
Many things have made me cry, son. First of all, my delay of Muslim. And that made me be preceded to many good places. Even when I spent lots of gold, I didn't reach any of them. I didn't reach a single one. God had saved me in the battles of Badr and Uhud. Then I had told myself, I am not going to grant victory to Quraysh against the Prophet of Allah, peace be upon him. Nor will I get out of Mecca. But soon I've been dragged to grant victory to Quraysh. Every time that Islam had crossed my mind, I looked at who was left from the men of Quraysh, growing older of age, having honor, and staying still with what they believed in from the times of Jahiliyyah. So I followed him and adjusted to them. Ah, how I wish that I didn't. Ah, I wish that I didn't follow in the footsteps of my father and his father before him, on what they were at from polytheism. So how could I not cry, my son? How could I not cry?